Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. I just started looking around and found a bunch of great bird effigies right in a row, and I got a couple of them down below here. This is you can see the beak on the far left hand side, just looking at that section as the head that I'm showing there, and then you can see the whole bird, especially whenever I tilt it up like this. You can see how the bird is represented with the tail feathers. See the little butt wagging? And this is also a beautiful human portrait that you can see, probably a bird man, and then as you tilt it, it'll turn into just the human. You see how that perfect silhouette just looking away from us, you can see if you look where the eye should be, you can see how the eye is done. He's kind of a bird man here. You know, the eye is up here, of course, in the crack. You turn that away and then that perfect human silhouette can come out. So it's just a representation of the transition between human and bird. This is a really nice one. You can see how the curved napped edge, or it almost looks napped. That's what all these have on them. They're not flint napped. And as you know, there's these characters on here. Kind of repeat over and over again, different ways. Let's look at some more here. This little bird effigy, just a bird head. You can see how it's a bird like this, right? Of course, with the beautiful carving for the eye. And then whenever we tilt it, it can turn into a bird in different ways. Sorry for our focus, there we are. You can see how the carving for the eye is done for the, perhaps it's a blue jay or something with a little crest. And then inside of this, see how this is kind of cut? We have a little silhouette of a human being with some kind of, probably an eagle hat on or bird hat on. That's normally the case here. And if you look closely at the silhouette, you can see how the jawline is represented and the neck coming back. It might look like hair at the top there. And flipping over to this side, it's going to be more bird heads. You can see the carving for the eye, hopefully, right there. So it's a really nice one. Don't want to go too into it, but let's go ahead and take a peek at one of these gateway examples here. This gateway example is showing a full bird with the beak and face on the right hand side here. And it's also, let's give you a little bit of a look at that. And then also it's just a big bird head with its carving for its eye right here, you can see. So this big meme of a big bird head repeats often. And then different directions, you know, make it a bird this way too. It's kind of what they did with a lot of this stuff. And then that's what I only knew about to start off with. And then I started noticing the human faces. So I like to show the birds to people. So that they can kind of learn the way I learned. So there's little symbols and looks like a sun on the end of this rock here. And we have a few gateway examples. I wish I could zoom you out just a little bit more, but I think we're stuck. Let's take a look at maybe just some of these weird duck heads they represent. So normally it's a bird head on one side and a full bird on the other, and that's the case here. You can see how these long angles are done. The way they teach you how to look at the art, whenever you start looking at it, they show you that you line those up to where it's perfect, and then you can look into the eye of the bird there, and you can see that perfect eye coming out. And I'll wash him off just a little bit here. He's a little bit muddy. There you go. You can see the color and everything on him now. A little better. Got some red on this one. So there's a little human silhouette, and you can see the eye right there. You may not have to look at the very edge of the stone, kind of looking at the interior. You can see how he may have an open mouth, yelling mouth. All right, let's take a look at a few more, guys. Not all of them are going to pop out at you, and you might not be seeing what I'm seeing, of course. So just keep that in mind. You know, you guys can always let me know and put a timestamp in there. And let's take a look at a few more. There's a great painted gateway right here. These are awesome. So they actually have paintings of human beings on them. And if you look closely, you might just see one looking at you, but also To the right hand side I saw a character as well. There's going to be a few on it. Now, it's a little harder to see in person. It actually comes out better on camera. So here's the main collection for the video. If you guys stuck around for this long, thank you. We got some really good ones to share right here. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few of them. Hey there.
How's it going?
It's going good. How are you doing?
All right.
Very nice. This orange looks like well, it's just paint. There's a pretty awesome gateway here though. Huge gateway. And whoops. We could take a look at the way the different silhouettes are on it. There's a few. It's so large, there's a few of them. So here's an easy one to see. So there's a couple rows of silhouettes on each layer. And as we turn this one, you can see this first one popping out with this is the eye. Let's go ahead and turn it down just a little bit so you guys can see. And so we're looking at this silhouette here, and then going even further back, each one of these layers is going to be another silhouette. Now remember, we're looking at stuff from a very long time ago. It's ancient. And so these people are not going to look like, you know, the people that you and I, they're kind of the same, but the style is different, you know? So just might have to think outside the box in order to see it. That's all I'm saying. So, all right, folks. We got some of the local friends out in the area as well today, so might want to go and say hello to a few of them. There's a neat conglomerate, looks like a cement made of that green stuff. So they made this weird green pottery, and it almost looks like a rock. It's sandstone-y. I've never seen it with rocks in it before though. This one they mixed in with rocks, which is cool. The pottery ones are sometimes very easy to see, and then I know in the shadows and stuff, the weird images and things will come out of this one. Mike Turo Rocks has a bunch of these weird ones. See, the smooth part probably be a face. That's a weird one. Anyway, yeah, ancient cement. There's some other people that know a little more about that stuff. I just find it. Here's a cool prismatic shard or blade. And of course it's going to resemble a bird head on the end of it. Probably a duck on one head. Like this is the duck. You can see the separation for the beak. So this would be the duck or the goose. Really long neck goose. And this is perhaps a different type of bird usually. And then even on the corner here, you'll have a different one. There you go. Just like that. You can do double bird. I don't know. They were creative with what they made. They put little characters on their tools. See how that resembles a duck head, right? Face it at you a little bit so you can really see. And looking at where the eye should be, if you look closely, I'll zoom in if you want. And on the other side. Wish I had some more sun. There you go. This one might have a diamond for an eye. That's better. Yep. Much more goose-like. So I hope everyone is doing good. Got through the holidays okay. I think all my obligations are pretty much done for the holidays. which is nice. This is another piece of that green sandstone stuff, I think. No, this is just stone, but it has... Oh, sorry for the focus, guys. I should have zoomed out to fisheye. See this orange and stuff? It is a painting of some sort. I think I can see the character, but it's a little hard to make out. There's some... Usually the X on the stones, the big cross that you see right there, it's usually found on each and every one. And then here we have a big eye, looks like, with the spikes coming out of it. Think like Egypt weird eye stuff. That's what's on these. It's not just my imagination. Every now and then, though, I do wake up. I'm like, is this all real? Gotta make sure. Gotta check out some of my artifacts and reconvince myself every now and again. So we're probably looking at a mammoth head and a human figure mixed together. I'm not sure. Bird head. So I don't know why they buried them all here. I don't know if they really thought that they needed to. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas on why they were storing all this stuff in one place. It's a really nice plaquette, but I think it's actually part of the embankment here. I could try to pull it out, but I'd break my back doing it. So this is the spot that we were in last video, guys, and there's a few more that have come out, and as you guys can see, the water's a lot lower, so. Let's take a look at this weird white one. We don't usually find stuff like this out here. Let's take a look at it and see. Alright. It's like a putty or something. It's like it was put in the ground and burnt and made. Or it's just a brick. I don't know what it is. Looks like a post hole brick thing. That's what it is. Do we see any faces or carvings on it? It's hard to say. Is that crystal and stuff and stuffed in there? Is there a rock stuffed in that? For an eye. Son of a... Yeah. I think it is. They made little character out of this post hole thing. That's why it was buried in the clay. So that's why I know that some of this stuff is not as old as a lot of us might think, at least here at my site. Because we find these modern materials that are made into effigies. This stuff, I mean, if they're digging out cement post hole things, that's what this looks like. Or they made it themselves, I don't know. Who knows? Look at the eye. It's really nice. You guys hopefully can see this smiling nose and the carving for the eye. This is actually a statue. I didn't think so at first. Interesting. See, just looking kind of right at us a little bit. I'm not big into the ones that look right at us. Just over here on the right-hand edge, you can see, of course. Yeah, they did some work to this one. Looks like they melted it. Very nice. It's fragile though. I feel all the grit in my hands. Yeah, that is crystal they packed in there. Very interesting. All right, let's take a look at some more. This is a really neat shaped one. You could try to figure it out. I think I can see that it's supposed to be a bird. It's a weird shape. But if you look at the black beak on the left-hand side, the sharp pointy end, the business end, you can see how the colors, more than likely the head's going to be red, but that's probably the black beak, and the body looks like it's red up into about there. Oh, it's way too big. That's a big green stone. There's another big prismatic shard sticking out of the ground here. Oh, stuck in there. Pretty long one again. These things, some of these swords, I call them, because they're like 3 feet freaking long. There's a neat one here. Now it's halfway dirty, but you can see the nose poking out there. Oh boy, this water is cold today. Looking through the camera with you guys because sometimes it's a little bit easier to spot things through the camera. Here's a very interesting one. It's got this long thingamadob sticking out of it. I don't know what it is. This is like some type of animal with a big beak, like a platypus or something, or ocean animals have been found out here. So like, trying to figure out what kind of animal that would be. You guys know? You can see the eye carvings in it. See, it's got this long beak. It almost looks like, no, it's not a seahorse. I don't know. It would be something that you would put on somebody's head. It looks like just a bird with a long beak is what it is. And down here below, you have the person's eye. You see the diamond shape right there? And that's her little nose poking out. But this is a really neat one. It's heavy, and I don't want to bang it around, mess it up. But you can see how these little silhouettes bust out of it. So this is just a ginormous gateway crystal. It's huge. You might be able to see the silhouette on the stone, of course, in the middle as we back it up. Oh, sorry for that stick being in the way. It's a little tough to capture it all. Just looking at it like this, you can see how the yellow end is possibly the beak of the bird, and you can see the spot in the middle there for the bird's eye. Now, on the other sections of this, you'll see the little faces and things come out too, especially as we move it. That's the whole point of it. It's kind of like a movie. It moves and the images change on you. So super neat. Pretty crafty. They're pretty smart. All right, folks, you know where we're at this spot over here. So we'll go ahead and catch you on the next one. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. See you then. Bye-bye. Oh, before you go, look at this. In the moss, actually. If you look closely, there's a little symbol on the moss, like it's chipped up to be a higher density of crystal, and the moss has just grown thicker to make the shape of a face. You guys can see that? Tell me if you can in the comments. All right, bye-bye.